Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is Jay Woodward, and we are gathered here today because I want to talk about something that is of grave importance. So I know that people find celebrity gossip entertaining. I know that people are curious about the public exhibition of celebrity drama. People have their attention turned to war and rumors of war. And I also know that people love and hate Twitter as they applaud the change in management. Kind of like when a sucky restaurant changes their management and people start dining there again. Now, I'm not a big fan of junk food, so I don't dine at Twitter. But if the menu and atmosphere changes, we'll see. It doesn't take much for these guys to grab your attention, does it? These are all stories that I don't really dig deep into or give much time to because, frankly, I don't care. And I know most of you don't really care either. And while all of this is going on, folks, we are under attack. I can't emphasize this enough. Look, I want you all to see something. U.S. egg factory roasts alive 5.3 million chickens in avian flu cull, then fires almost every worker. Okay? Laborers at one of the world's largest egg factories arrived at the plant in Rembrandt, Iowa, early one morning in March to discover they were about to work themselves out of a job. As they gathered at the huge barns housing stacks of caged hens, the workers were told to forget about their usual routine of collecting eggs and feeding the birds. Overnight, the factory had begun slaughtering more than 5 million chickens, using a gruesome killing method after detecting a single case of avian influenza. Even supervisors were assigned to the arduous task of dragging dead hens out of packed cages as Rembrandt Enterprises raced to contain the spread of the virus. Amid the largest bird flu outbreak in the U.S. in 7 years. They can use suffocation, electrocution, cervical dislocation, which is another term for decapitation, or maceration, which is basically throwing them onto a conveyor belt that leads into something like a wood chipper. No, they are not giving away chickens or distributing them to poor communities. No, they are not making any good use of those chickens. They were bred, raised, and killed for nothing. This is an absolute violation of ethics, and there is a reason. Oh, there is a reason why they are starting small. They are conditioning us. This form of conditioning takes a long time, but they know how it works. They know that even if people are aware they are being conditioned, it still works. We are really going to have to keep our posture and stop accepting this crap. The culling has been repeated at chicken and turkey farms across Iowa and 28 other states from Maine to Utah. More than 22 million birds have been killed in an attempt to contain the outbreak. The majority in Iowa, the U.S.'s biggest producer of eggs. The slaughter of 5.3 million hens at Rembrandt is the largest culling at any factory farm in the country. Folks, this is getting real. So, I don't know what to tell you, other than what I have been telling you, only now, I didn't really anticipate a culling like this. It is very telling. I knew they were capable of it. I guess I forgot they were capable of deliberately destroying our food supply in our faces. They are destroying the lives of your children in your face. You guys do understand that you can't grow food without animals. You need that ecosystem. Plants need animals too, you know. Do you guys realize how many 5.3 million chickens is? And you are telling me because of one case of detected avian flu, they annihilated that many chickens? And that's not all. There's more. Over 120,000 pounds of ground beef products recalled due to E. coli contamination fears. Not an actual outbreak, mind you, but fears. The potentially contaminated products were manufactured from February 1st through April 8th and distributed to retailers throughout the U.S. Those with labels carry the establishment number 46841 inside the USDA mark of inspection, the FSIS said. Now, how many of you even knew that they labeled these batches of meat, honestly? I'll tell you why nobody looks at that, because there are not enough people getting sick or dying from bad meat. It is not nearly enough for them to use that as an excuse to recall tons and tons of meat, but they want to get used to this idea of death to save lives. And yes, people are protesting these cullings of farm animals. They are the closest animals to humans when it comes to our cycle of the food chain, right? Actually, I am preparing to talk about the domestication of animals in another presentation coming up. People were just starting to eat better raised meats from organic local farmers. But very soon is going to be a situation where beggars cannot be choosers. And even vegans are going to go on a seafood diet. You know, when you see food, you eat it. Yeah. Thousands of healthy pigs culled because of lack of butchers, say farmers. Tens of thousands of healthy pigs have been culled in a crisis over a lack of butchers in pork processing plants. Farmers have revealed ahead of a summit on the issue. The National Pig Association said the backlog of pigs ready for processing, which are having to be held on farms because of worker shortages, is now estimated at more than 200,000 animals. There tends to be pork in a lot of products. And so if you don't have that resource, you don't have those ingredients for those products. And so you now have more, you have now condensed the number of choices you have available to not just yourself, but other people around you. Because when other people around you start to starve, they start to look at you. So, do you all see what's happening? And if you think, how could someone do this to these animals? Sometimes they just bulldoze these pigs into a trench alive and bury them alive. So if you think for 1 second that morality is going to stop this, think again. If you think that it is going to stop it from happening to us, think again. It is happening to us. We are being culled. Why? Because things are going to get very rough. And it will be a lot easier for them to handle if there are less people in their sick theory. Listen to this. Dozens of food processing plants destroyed in fires, accidents in recent weeks. Dozens of food processing plants and warehouses have been destroyed by fires, plane crashes, and other curious accidents in recent weeks, representing a disturbing trend that falls outside the realm of coincidence. The latest incident happened in Covington, Georgia, when a plane crashed into a General Mills plant on Thursday, killing 2 people and destroying a number of trailers stored at the plant. A couple of days ago, a fire destroyed the headquarters of Azure Standard, one of the largest organic food distributors in the country, Tucker Carlson reported Thursday. Shockingly, nearly 20 U.S. food plants have been damaged or destroyed over the last year or so. Around the same time, supply chain breakdowns already began gnarling the U.S. food supply. Actually, folks, that number was up to 24 food plants last time I checked. They are crashing planes into buildings. Are you guys paying attention? Do you hear what I'm saying? So what we are looking at here is probably going to lead to frequent multiple food riots. Major food price increases leads to food protests. And then we all know what happens next. And it is not so much a mob of hungry people, but a mob of angry people. Later, you have angry and hungry people. Not good. Let me ask you all a question, because this mass culling of farm animals has already taken place. How many people do you think their lives were cut short because of this? We have to get this conversation started among our communities, not Johnny and Amber's business. If they were family members, would you be all up in their business like that? Well, maybe. I know some of you may be up in people's business like that. I don't like gossip, and I don't like talking about specific people. It is certainly okay to discuss things about celebrities, but get in and out, as I say. So here's the deal. Like many of you out there, in my life, I have to go through some things. I have to struggle all the same. I don't get to escape that. If I don't keep making mistakes, then I have nothing left to learn. So as I shift through this information, I realize that I have to do something. I realize I need to be at peace with everyone and everything so that my spirit can strengthen for what is to come. And that involves a lot of energy and focus. And that is because our very lives are at stake here. And if there is a lack of food for us, there is a lack of food for our children. And in most cases, they are not as strong as us in getting through that. So it is going to become something that you really are going to have to take into your own hands. And you will need energy and focus to do it. What's happening is people are waking up fast to this reality, and so they are attempting to purchase emergency food and supplies instead of some of the luxuries they enjoy. So supplies are running out. And as more and more people start to do this, you will notice the trend. We have to be very careful from now on because the people in control of this system, that occult side of them is coming out big time. And they seem to be becoming like the ancient people who used to worship the sun and the weather and thought that in order to please the gods, they had to sacrifice others. Growing your own food is something I think we all want to take time to consider, and not just anything, but calorically dense food, food that will give you the calories you need. Potatoes, sweet potatoes, parsnips, beans, beets, peas, lentils, carrots, squash, and other foods dense in calories. Raising poultry is a good idea if you have the means and space to do it. It is also a good idea to learn about what is going on at these farms so that we can keep up with what is in limited supply and what may disappear from the shelves for good. There is more to come, folks, so please stay tuned. That's all for now. I have some things that I am preparing to present, and that will all be up shortly. Until then, be sure to visit woodwardentertainment.com and the Woodward Entertainment Store. You can follow me on Instagram at JAEWoodward. God bless you all and your families. And as always, stay awake, stay aware, stay safe, and I'll talk to you all soon.